There were days I didn't feel like doing anything, but those were the days that defined me. I used to wait for the spark, the perfect song, the perfect sunrise, the perfect wave of motivation that would lift me into action. Sometimes it came. Most of the time, it didn't. And on those empty mornings, I learned something uncomfortable. If I only moved when I felt like it, I'd rarely move at all. So I made a quiet deal with myself. I will show up whether I feel it or not. The first mornings were ugly. I argued with the alarm. I negotiated with the snooze button. I told myself stories. I'll start tomorrow. I worked hard yesterday. I deserve a break. But excuses don't care about my future. They only care about my comfort. And comfort is a thief dressed like a friend. I started small. 10 minutes of focused effort when my mind wanted 0. 1 page when I wanted none. 1 set when my body said stop. Those 10 minutes became 20. That single page became a chapter. That set became a session. I wasn't chasing fireworks anymore. I was laying bricks. On bad days, the bricks were crooked. On good days, they were clean. But every day, I laid one. Over time, a wall appeared where there used to be nothing. Discipline didn't arrive as a roar. It showed up as a whisper. Just begin. I learned that beginnings carry momentum. If I could convince myself to start, the first minute would carry me to the 5th, and the 5th to the 15th. I realized it wasn't willpower I lacked. It was a plan small enough to start and strict enough to finish. I built rituals, clothes out the night before, plan written in ink, not in my head, water on the desk, phone far away. Celebrations tiny and immediate, a check mark, a tally, a quiet good. I stopped promising myself transformations and started promising repetitions. Reps are honest. Reps don't pretend. Reps don't ask how I feel. They ask if I'm here. There were setbacks. I missed days. I fell into old patterns. Shame tried to make those slips into a story about who I was, but shame is a liar with good memory. I answered it with new evidence. Look again, I said to myself. I'm here today. I learned to restart without drama, to return without apology. Consistency isn't broken by a miss. It's built by the next rep after the miss. People think consistency is rigid. For me, it became freedom. When the rule is I show up, decisions get lighter. I don't bargain with feelings. I follow the rule. Some days I move fast, some days I move slow, every day I move. Progress stopped being a mystery and started being math. And gradually something shifted. I didn't need the spark as much. The work itself became the spark. The process began to reward me before the results did. My identity changed from someone trying to someone who does. That's the secret no headline captures. Consistency builds competence, and competence builds confidence. Not the loud kind, the quiet kind that lets you look at a hard thing and think, I've done hard things before, so if today feels heavy, good. That means this is one of those defining days. Don't wait for the mood. Don't chase the perfect moment. Make a small promise you can keep, and keep it now. Breathe. Begin. Lay one brick, then another. You won't always feel motivated, but this is exactly when it matters most. This is how we change. Not in a burst, but in a pattern. And I'm choosing the pattern. I made a decision. Feelings can visit, but discipline drives. I don't wait for energy, I create it. I don't chase the mood, I set the mission. When the alarm goes off, I don't negotiate with a pillow, I execute a plan. Because the gap between the life I want and the life I have is measured in reps. Reps of focus, reps of follow-through, reps of showing up when my feelings try to vote me out. Here's what I learned. My emotions are weather, my standards are climate. Weather shifts by the hour. Climate is built over years. If I let weather decide my life, I live in storms. If I let standards decide, I build a season called progress. So I codified my standards. I set non-negotiables. Move my body, move my mind, move my mission every day. Move might be intense or it might be simple, but it happens. I built a scoreboard I can't ignore. Visible, simple, binary. Did I win the day or not? Not perfect, not pretty, just yes or no. The scoreboard is brutal, and that's why it's honest. It doesn't clap, it counts. I built systems that remove friction. Night before prep, 2-minute start rule, a 90-minute deep work block on the calendar that I treat like a flight. It leaves with or without me. A cue to begin, a ritual to enter, a hard stop to review. I don't trust future me to be stronger than temptation. I design the room so temptation never gets in. I learn to pair discipline with compassion. Discipline says do it anyway. Compassion says do it wisely. If my body needs recovery, I adjust intensity, never the identity. I don't skip the act, I scale the act. 10% effort still beats 0. Even on low days, I protect the streak because the streak protects me. When resistance shows up, and it always does, I name it. This is the moment. The moment I trained for. The moment that separates the casual from the committed. I talk to myself out loud if I have to. 5, 4, 3, 2, move. Action first, inspiration second. The feeling will follow the doing. I audit my inputs. Socials that drain me, gone. Conversations that pull me backward, limited. Music that primes focus, cued. I guard the first hour of my day like it's gold, because it is. The first hour writes the headline for the rest of the day. I choose a headline I'm proud to read, and I use identity language, not wishful thinking. I don't say, I'm trying to be consistent. I say, I am consistent. My actions report to that identity. If I miss, I don't spiral. I reconcile. I ask 3 questions. What blocked me? How do I remove it? What's my next rep? Then I take it, immediately, recovery at the speed of integrity. Understand this. Discipline is not punishment. It's permission. Permission to become who I said I would be. Discipline deletes the drama and installs the truth. The truth is simple. I do the work, even when I'm tired. Especially when I'm tired. Because fatigue is a feeling, finishing is a fact. And the more I honour these standards, the quieter the excuses get. Not because life gets easier, but because I get louder. My commitment has a voice now. It says, this is who we are. This is what we do. So today, I'm not hoping for momentum. I'm manufacturing it. One decision. One block. One representative. I'm stacking undeniable evidence until doubt runs out of arguments. I'm not waiting for the door to open. I'm turning the handle with my habits. Discipline over feelings. Standards over moods. Identity over excuses. I'm already moving. And something is changing. At first, discipline felt like dragging a heavy sled through wet sand. Every step was effort. Every rep was a debate. But repetition rewires reality. The weight didn't get lighter, I got stronger. And then the subtle shift began. It started with proof. Small wins stacked. Quiet. Ordinary. Undeniable. I hit a target on a day I would have skipped. I finished a session I once would have cut short. I kept a promise to myself when no one was watching. Each win was a receipt. I began to run out of reasons to doubt the person I was becoming. Momentum showed up like a tailwind. The rituals that once needed willpower started running on muscle memory. The first 5 minutes, the hardest 5, became automatic. I didn't argue with the work. I entered it. The scoreboard on my wall, the one that used to intimidate me, now motivated me. Those rows of check marks weren't decoration. They were identity. They said, this is who I am. This is what I do. Confidence didn't arrive as a roar. It arrived as calm. The volume of my internal noise turned down. I began to trust my future self because my past self kept showing up. My standards started to travel with me, into early mornings, late nights, high-pressure moments. I realized consistency isn't just about getting more done. It's about becoming someone I can rely on, and competence. That grew in the background. Edges that once felt sharp became smooth. Tasks that once took an hour took 20 minutes. I wasn't sprinting harder. I was moving smarter. Patterns appeared where chaos used to live. I could see what mattered and ignore what didn't. That clarity is a form of speed. Of course, resistance still visited. Life still threw curveballs, fatigue, doubt, distractions dressed as opportunities. But the difference now is recovery time. I don't spiral for days, I reset in minutes. I don't ask, why is this happening to me? I ask, what's the next right action? I can miss a step without losing the rhythm, because rhythm is built on returns, not perfection. I also noticed something else. Standards are contagious. People around me started to level up, not because I lectured, but because I lived it. Consistency communicates without speaking. It says, excellence is normal here. And when excellence is normal, Average feels uncomfortable. The shift is this. I'm no longer chasing motivation or results. I'm building evidence and letting results chase me. My energy comes from alignment, actions matching ambitions. That alignment feels like integrity in motion. It's quiet, steady, and stronger than any burst of hype. I still celebrate, just differently. Not only when I cross a finish line, but when I keep the line, when I honour the plan, when I choose the rep over the excuse. I've learned that the most important victories happen long before anyone sees them. The crowd might cheer the podium, but the podium is built in private. So here's where I am now. I don't fear the hard days. I expect them, and I'm equipped for them. I don't pray for easy. I prepare for real. I don't need perfect conditions. I create consistent conditions. I'm not trying to prove that I can do it once. I'm proving I won't stop doing it. This is the shift. Discipline turned into identity. Identity turned into momentum. Momentum turned into confidence. I'm not waiting for a door. I'm building the hallway. And with every step, the path gets clearer. The pace gets smoother. The purpose gets louder. I'm already moving. And now I'm hard to stop. I'm hard to stop. And now it's not just about today. It's about the echo I leave behind. There was a time I measured success by a single finish line. Now I see it differently. I'm not racing to a moment. I'm crafting a standard. The work I do today has a voice tomorrow. The reps I put in now will speak for me when I'm not in the room. That's legacy, the residue of consistency. I've learned that momentum, once earned, is a responsibility. It asks me to steward my energy, not squander it. To invest in what compounds, skills, systems, relationships, health. I don't chase every opportunity. I choose the few that align with my mission. Focus isn't saying no to bad things. It's saying not now to good things that don't move the needle. So I built lanes for my life. Inputs I trust, habits that travel, routines that still work when I'm tired, busy, or on the road. I have a reset ritual when days go sideways, a reflection ritual when weeks end, and a planning ritual that turns months into momentum. This isn't about being rigid, it's about being ready. Ready for the day, ready for the pressure, ready for the moment that requires all of me. I keep receipts, not for the world, for myself. A journal of work done, metrics that matter, evidence that I honour my word. When doubt knocks, I open the book and let the pages answer, not with hype, with data. You keep showing up. That sentence has power because I wrote it with actions, and I'm done outsourcing my identity to outcomes. Results are feedback, not oxygen. They don't define me, they inform me. If I win, I extract the lesson. If I lose, I extract the lesson faster. The only true failure is abandoning the pattern that made progress possible. I refuse to abandon that pattern. I'm also building people, not just projects. Standards are generous. They lift others. So I share the playbook. Start small, start now, protect the streak, scale the effort, keep the promise. I don't ask anyone to believe in me. I ask them to believe in their next representative. We don't rise on opinions, we rise on evidence. Let's collect it together. And to the future me, the one standing on the shoulders of these days, I'm speaking to you now. I'm sending you strength, packed into every deliberate choice. I'm paying your bills in advance with hours of practice, quiet mornings, disciplined nights. When you meet pressure, I want you to recognize it like an old rival. I want you to nod and say, "We trained for this. Here's my vow. I will not wait for perfect conditions. I will not bargain with excuses. I will not confuse urgent with important. I will do the work that compounds. I will keep the promises that build trust. I will be the person my goals require. Today, not someday." So if you're listening and you're on the edge, lean in. This is your line in the sand. Not a grand gesture, a grounded one. One habit you'll protect. One block you'll defend. One standard you'll refuse to negotiate. Don't look for permission. Write it with your actions. Because this is how it all converges. Discipline becomes identity. Identity becomes momentum. Momentum becomes confidence. And confidence, consistent, earned confidence, becomes legacy. Not the kind carved in stone, but the kind etched into people, into work, into the person you carry everywhere. I'm not chasing the right time. I'm creating it. I'm not hoping to be consistent. I am consistent. And from this moment forward, I will keep forcing myself, gently when I can, firmly when I must, to honor the pattern that changed my life. Stand up, show up, do the next right rep. Force yourself to be consistent, and let consistency do the rest.